Paris attacks, Gunman was dressed in black, professional, shooting and killing, says Brit witness. Mark Colclough, 43, was passing the Casa Nostra restaurant when he saw a gunman, dressed in full military combat, open fire at innocent diners. A British man who was passing the cafe where a gunman opened fire on diners has described the moment he spotted the terrorist firing his gun. Mark Colclough, 43, was about 20 meters from the Casa Nostra restaurant in Paris when he saw a man dressed in military combat poised with an automatic machine gun. The psychotherapist said he watched as the man gunned down 3 or 4 people sitting on seats outside the cafe in Rue de la Fontaine before they collapsed to the ground. He told The Guardian, everything he was wearing was tight, either boots or shoes, and the trousers were tight, the jumper he was wearing was tight, no zippers or collars. Everything was toned black. If you think of what a combat soldier looks like, that is it, just without the webbing. Just a man in military uniform, black jumper, black trousers, black shoes or boots and a machine gun. Maybe a woolly hat. He was left-handed and shooting in bursts of 3 or 4 shots. It was fully intentional, professional bursts of 3 or 4 shots. Mr. Colclough, who has a British-Danish dual citizenship, said the gunman was about 185 centimeters tall and standing in a shooting position when he saw him. He explained that after gunning down diners outside the cafe, the terrorist then shot through a car driver's window before walking into the cafe and opening fire. Mr. Colclough, who had by this point dived for cover, believes he heard around 20 gunshots before everything went quiet. He walked away from the scene unscathed with his colleague, but the pair decided to turn back to help out and were faced with a scene of terror. Police had ushered them inside the cafe where there was about a dozen people who were either severely wounded or dead and one man who had been shot in the stomach. He described seeing thick blood everywhere, which is, unlike the blood in the movies, and survivors having to crawl out from underneath dead bodies. They were taken to a room upstairs where there were more wounded people before police asked them to give a witness statement. Officers told them the gunman had not been apprehended and that it was definitely not safer to walk home. At least 128 people are now believed to have been killed in the attack as France declares a state of emergency. As well as the shooting at the restaurant, there were attacks at other cafes and 2 suicide bombings near the Stade de France Stadium and a massacre inside the Bataclan Theatre where United States rock band Eagles of Death Metal were playing. It's said to be the worst violence to hit France since the Second World War.